one of the most important things is building relationships with students, and so I try really hard, especially at the beginning of the year, to get to know them. I'm out in the hallway with them as they're getting their things together in the morning, so I just get conversations with them, and then morning meetings is where you get to know a lot about students. They share things that they normally don't share throughout the day.
So once the expectation is taught, it's really important to kind of catch it in the moment if the student is doing something that I really want to see encouraged. So for instance, if one of my kids, maybe they hate a certain assignment, I can give it on their desk, but they don't roll their eyes. That's huge. I'm like, wow, that was awesome. Thank you for, and I go specifically, thank you for not, groaning, not whatever, and thank you for really, trying your best and going full effort into this. You get master's money, and that will kind of translate into actual tangible rewards, maybe not huge, but it kind of helps the kids to recognize, like, you know what, you're doing good and you're getting good for it.
So we do a couple things. We have our fuzzy bucket where kids can earn fuzzies for expected behaviors, and they can do that in different parts of our building, specials and lunch and recess and in the classroom. And then we also have done Class Dojo. In the last couple of weeks, we have started that after Christmas break, and they get constant reinforcement for positive things that they're doing, whether it's transitioning quickly or using kind words. And then at the end of the week, we have a celebration for the groups that earned their points, and they are really motivated by getting those silly rewards, like crazy socks with no shoes in the classroom has been a really fun one.
I think the most reinforcing thing for most kids is just that positive adult attention and just making sure we're using such positive language with them. And I'm not going to sit here and be negative with a kid when they're having a hard time. I'm just going to reinforce everybody else around them for doing the right thing, because 95% of the time they get back on track too. And then once they get back on track, it's immediate reinforcement of awesome job. I see that was really hard for you, but great job getting back on track.
So, I think like any teacher, I get to know my kids. I ask them how their weekends were. I ask them things that they like. I find out what they do on, for activities. Do they dance? Do they do sports? So I can kind of have those conversations with them. I think building the relationships between students is a lot more difficult, especially at kindergarten, because they don't know each other. We're getting to know them from the ground up.
And then at the end of our 30-minute class, I talked to them again. I asked them how they felt they were in terms of a 1 through 4 in terms of behavior, and then if the class has done a good job for both myself and music, they can earn a class sticker. When they get a certain amount of class stickers, they earn a choice day, so they can pick the games in PE or the music activities that they are doing for the day.
So I think the most important thing about being a teacher is building those relationships. If you don't have relationships, you are never going to be able to make what you're teaching valuable. So doing things like just noticing them, and hey, I noticed that you got a haircut this week. Looks great.
So it is kind of an individual kind of basis. One of my kiddos in the general education classroom, he's very bright, but there are some behavioral concerns. And we really have to kind of figure out what is he willing to work for. So I worked a lot with our school psychologist to kind of figure out what is it that he responds well to, and one of the things was 3 minutes. So we decided that we would actually create little cards that have free minutes. So anytime I see him using an expectation that he does really well, or does it without prompting, I'll give him, hey blank, you're doing an awesome job just getting started on your assignment. Here's a free minute. Once he's got up to 5 minutes, he can cash in those minutes. Maybe he just needs a 5-minute YouTube break or 5 minutes to draw. Sometimes it's 5 minutes to leave class early, but at the end of the day, he's typically getting his work in. And that's just a huge progress that we've seen over the course of the